Welcome back, everybody. So, to take Daddy's place for today, to substitute, I have brought in Professor E.S. Limey.
Hi, Ad. So what happened in the Bengals loss, Oji?
Well, look, Professor, the Chargers had nothing to lose, and they played like that. The Bengals, they looked tense, and they didn't play to their potential at home.
Don't be stingy with me, Ad. I know you want to let it all out.
Well, I guess since Daddy wasn't here, I can go ahead and let some of this out. Dalton is a joke, okay? Seriously, this man thinks that he's an NFL quarterback, huh? You want a real NFL quarterback? You look at Aaron Rodgers. I know he lost, I know. But look at how he plays. There's a QB with some guacamole on top. He's got the mustache. He's got the charisma. He reminds me a lot of the silent film 1920s icon Rudolph Valentino. That man had so much charisma that his picture is still hanging up all over old women's huts in my village. I tell you what, even though Rodgers' performance was pretty good, it wasn't bad, still, he takes the blame like a man for the loss. Unlike Mr. Pixie Dust, who's basically was like the captain of the Titanic, and he blames everybody himself. He deflects blame, he uses the passive tense, and you know what, he reminds me a lot of Ralphie from A Christmas Story, shooting his eye out. That's what it reminds me of. Rodgers is a real MVP, man. Dalton, this guy, he finally gets his first postseason touchdown pass, and this guy thinks he just won Super Bowl MVP. If the defender hadn't hit him, he probably would have overthrown that as well. Worse than Dalton's playing is the man's face. Why? What is with that smug look? Even though you just keep throwing the ball away, drive after drive.
But you have to admit, Ad, Gio has to take some of the blame too. His fumble really disrupted our momentum.
Gio's fumble didn't cost us the game, okay? That happened when we were tied 7-7 near the end of the first half. San Diego didn't even score off the turnover. We get the ball back and get a field goal to end the half. Things were going bright and curly. By the way, why does Dalton have to depend so much on Gio in the passing game? The poor man is a running back. How about some more accurate passes to our star AJ Green, one of the top receivers in the NFL?
But AJ didn't play his best game either, Ad.
People blame poor AJ for not holding on to that long pass. Look, first of all, they were already down 10 points with 6 minutes left. Second of all, the defender knocked it out of his hands. Things like that happen. But what shouldn't happen are meltdowns. The Bengals meltdown that happened in the third and fourth quarters when Dalton turned it over 3 straight times. On that fumble, the ball just kind of slipped out of his hand like a wet baby in the hands of a grandma jumping into bed. And by the time we got the ball back, it was 20-10 with only 8 minutes left. Professor, let me just put it like this. Before Dalton's turnovers, sorry if I spit when I speak, statisticians tell us that the Bengals had a 42% chance of winning, and after Dalton's turnovers, they only had a 4% chance. We call those chances in my village equal to finding a grain of peppercorn amidst goat droppings. Not very easy thing to do. So let's leave Gio out of this, let's leave AJ out of this, let's leave the offensive line out of this. It's the playoffs. The San Diego defensive line was playing rough style. They were putting the pressure as they should have. The Bengals defense, they weren't their usual miraculous selves, but that's gonna happen, okay? In a tight situation like this, you can't always rely on your defense to win games. You gotta have an offense. And they did pretty well despite all the turnovers. You wanna blame Marvin Lewis? Why would you wanna blame the guy who turned around a franchise? The man is the defensive genius. Jay Gruden, you wanna blame him? Okay, look, I say he's not a Sam White, but maybe he could have done more with a real QB. I should say Gruden is to blame because he pushed for Dalton, and so you know what? If he wants to go elsewhere, pack up your bags and go. That's great with me. So in the end, though, this falls on Dalton. I say, step up, Dalton, or go back to Leprechaun Land, you Orange Julius freak.
Wow, Ad, you really let them have it.
Look, no offense, Professor Slimy, but I feel like you might not completely grasp the words that are coming out of my mouth here. Why don't you tune in to our next episode where Daddy and I will bring on a new anti-Dalton rap. I'm going to call it the mother of all anti-Dalton raps. You've never heard an anti-Andy Dalton rap like this Andy Dalton rap.
You know I love you, Ad.
I'll take that as goodbye. Goodbye, boys and girls.
Goodbye, Ad.